you guys. You guys are fucking patriots. Look at this guy. He's got respect for doing.
There's 4 million people coming in.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
What is the cost of lies? It's not that we'll mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all.
Why would I have anything to say to you? All you do is lie.
What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories?
It's the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction.
Take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans, right. You're saying that's not gain of function?
That is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially.
When you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
About is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Fuck them. Okay?
Welcome back, Habbening Bros. It's Thursday night. You know what that means? It's time for another Habbening TV. All of the happenings are happening. Just a quick note, I'm not going to be covering the trans shooting in Minnesota. That shit is like straight up fucking demonic, like for real. Like it's so fucking spooky and evil and demonic. I just fucking too many bad vibes. If you are of that kind of bent, I would encourage that you pray for the victims and the other people. But otherwise, like I can't, bros. It's just too spooky. Dude was like fucking straight up possessed, man. Right? Like not even kidding, not even like joking around, not like figuratively, like in the Jungian sense. Dude was straight up fucking possessed. Right? Seen that shit like once, you never forget fucking shit like that. So I'm afraid I have put a sanity embargo on that. You know, you can find all the horrible shit on there if you wish to look at it. Apart from that, there is other stuff happening in the world. Of course, tonight we will be covering Axe Girl. Yes, the UK Axe Girl, little 12-year-old. Well, I mean, she's Scottish. She's Scottish. Little girl with an axe and a knife. She's like standing up for, mate, that shit has gone fucking viral, man. Like it's gone around the world a billion times. All the Americans are like, what's wrong with you people in the UK? Are you like total cucks? And all the people in the UK are like, you've got guns, you bastards. Like, Stop ragging on us, right? Like, oh, you voted for this. Yeah, no, we really didn't, right? Like, I think the Americans would know what a tyranny is. Your whole country is literally based on resisting it. Just saying. Yes, the Lola, the hatchet girl, someone really needs to come up with like a proper sort of social media name for this, has been made famous. Well, at least it would be if, we'd heard from her. She, of course, has been arrested for the crime of trying to defend herself. An increasingly common reason to get arrested in the United Kingdom. Actually, almost like the government is trying to send some kind of message, but I can't think what that might be. There have been memes. There's been some like more stuff come out about like, you know, what the fuck has been going on around this. The individual that filmed her, who, you know, he looks like a really nice boy who didn't do nothing and is definitely not all over TikTok thumbing like wads of cash and posting all these things about like what a gangster he is. Seems like a lovely guy. So yeah, we'll be getting into that. Secondly, shit. What's the second story? Man, I got a brain like a sieve at the moment. Yes. You would not believe this, bros. I am horrified to discover the UK Libs, the proper people, the sensible people, right? You know, the people that rule Britain from the sensible centre. They are shocked. I tell you that the chuds are talking about deportations. Deportations? I thought we were a civilized society, right? Which meant that we like just keep inviting in like randos from the worst corners of the world, like forever, right? Oh, actually, it doesn't affect me living in Fuckingham-on-Sea. I don't see what all the fuss is about, quite frankly. My shares are doing excellently. I haven't seen any of these so-called migrants around my neck of the woods. I think you're just all racist. Oh, yes, absolutely, Sir Fotheringham. Racist to the lot. Yes, the UK shit lib elite are like basically losing their minds at the moment. Just shocked that Farage has come out and said that he's going to do deportations. Of course, Farage's plan is not very well thought out, and you know, I don't trust that guy, you know, as far as I can throw him. But still, just the idea that it's being mentioned. Oh my god, fascism is just around the corner, bros. Fascism is when you have a functioning society. Funny how that works, right? Like, you know. So yes, we'll be going over some of that, and you know. The government has basically sought a court opinion on the closing of the Bell Hotel in Epping, basically saying that the rights of the people that live around the hotel are superseded by the European Convention on Human Rights. And if that, in a nutshell, doesn't basically tell you everything you need to know about the way that the UK is run, I don't know what to tell you, bros. I don't know. Twice a week, I'd be telling you. Nobody ever listens to me, except for my loyal listeners, of course. I love you all. And our final story tonight. Ukraine is seemingly trying to start a war with Hungary. I know, right? It's fucking crazy. For the third time in a row, Ukraine has bombed the only oil pipeline that leads into Hungary and Slovakia that comes out of Russia. They're giving Putin the money. And this has led to some like really weird shit. Like you can actually watch the Hungarian and the Ukrainian foreign minister beefing with each other over Twitter. It's a brave new world, bros. It is you can now literally watch diplomacy live as the foreign ministers of two European countries sling shit at each other on Twitter. Marvelous. And you know, there's been like strikes in Kiev and some other stuff. But you know, like, you know, it's all good, bros. It's all good. It's going to be a show. It's going to be a show. Please come along and absorb this info nodule. Yes, it's an info nodule. That is a term that I just absolutely did not make up. There's a very, very serious scientific and academic term that I just made up. No, really, it's, you know, honestly, it's, you know. Let's get on with it, bros. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat. On Rumble, we got Full Short, Teabagging Therapist, J Chiva Loophole, Captain Crisps, Sedes Sapiente. Sedes, it's not the same. It's not the same without you to make me tea. I'm telling you. Lowborn. Ooh, I think you're new. Welcome, sir. Strong first message in the chat there from Lowborn. I got you coming in hot there, mate. Coming in hot. Who else have we got? Anybody else? I think that's everybody on Rumble. Yes, the Eunuch, of course. I will be on Empire of Gulag Cafe tonight. We will be taking the piss out of James Lindsay. He's been on fire recently. It's going to be delightful. Also, actually, on Artie and Fist on Friday, we'll also be taking the piss out of James Lindsay. There is just so much. There is so much to cover. But specifically tonight, we will be asking why it is that people such as Lindsay believe that the Israelis have the right to an ethnocentric society, but the English do not. Why is that, bros? Right? Like, why aren't the English chosen in some way? Right? That's this is what I want to know. So, if you seem like this, if that seems like the kind of thing you would be into, come along. Lovely to see you, Years. I think that's everybody on Rumble. On YouTube, we have Sunny Jim, Robert Verlinden, many L's. That's what I'm going to call you, Mr. L. Many L's. Did you make that username in the middle of an epileptic spasm? That's what I want to know. Cyberchud Internal Affairs, Sir Chud of Cyberingham. One of those liberal elites that I was talking to you about earlier, except, of course, he also makes banging electro. So, swings and roundabouts, all right? Sunny Jim, Ashley Styles, good to see you, Ashley. Streaky Bacon, thanks for the co-fi, mate. I've got to check that out as well. Robert Verlinden, did I already mention you? I don't know, my brain is like a sieve. Evil 1776. Arakeen Green Moon, good to see you, Arakeen. And James Cole, just, slid in there at the last minute. Nice going there, James. And on Odyssey, we have no one. It's a bit quiet on the Odyssey front tonight. Don't know why. Today's meme. Why can't I say I love bacon? I mean, it's a good question. Great Simpsons meme. Great Simpsons meme. Try saying that 4 times. Simpsons meme. I should add that to my vocal warm-up. Right, let's get on with it. I got quite a lot of stuff to get through, so let's check it out. I would like to give a shout out to a Templar for this. If you follow him on Twitter, he's a good follow. He did this English propaganda poster. Follow social... I say follow... No, because they don't use posh English accents anymore, do they? Follow social norms, bruv. Right? Follow social norms. Here, find a helpful guide to British law regarding sex crimes that you may be guilty of. First crime, noticing. It is racist to not want immigration. Racism is a crime, a thought crime. You have to work on your internal racism. Immigration is our strength, our greatest strength. Trademark. 2, self-defense. Self-defense is illegal. Weapons are illegal. Pepper spray is illegal. Use your state-supplied rape whistle to alert a local police officer to intervene. As far as being the victim, racism is a crime up to the point of penetration. If you become a victim of rape, report it to your local police station and it will be filed for government review. If you are found to have been racist, remember, it is your fault. Does that sound right? Official government communication. I'm glad everybody understands. Yes, this is a result of the Axe Girl, and some of the memes about this have been spicy. I think this is quite good. I reckon this would make a pretty good poster. If the right had a version of Stand Up to Racism, they could start posting this around. Right? Just a bit spicy. Why you have weapon? Get away from me. I'm 12, you fucking nonce. Probably not doing the accent particularly well. This, of course, the famous image that has been, she's basically like another Shiloh Hendrix. There are GoFundMes going up and stuff, although there is some question of whether it's actually really her. It's all very, very vague and up in the air. I presume at some point, I don't know, at some point they'll figure out exactly who this. I think her name is Lola Muir. Lola or Ruby. The two sisters are Lola and Ruby. British authorities arrest St. George for brandishing a bladed weapon at Dragon. a rare win there from the Babylon Bee that does not mention Israel. You know, this is great. I'm loving that. I'm loving that that energy. Honestly, this is good as well. Actually, honestly, that would make a great patch. Like some of these are great. Like really, really good. This one as well. I mean, like, I know it's AI slop, but you know, come on, right? I like it. I like it. Ghibli AI slop, right? Skyrim slop. The cigarette. They really captured the essence of Scotland there. I think. And there's just funny shit going around like this. Enjoy.
More breaking news. A woman was carrying a knife and axe to protect herself from aggressive migrants. Let's go to a local Scottish man for comment.
We were only trying to kidnap them, and they became very Islamophobic.
As you saw, the woman was causing trouble, threatening some nice men who were hanging around, and so we can't have that happening, and we need to lock her away.
Apologies, I thought she was defending herself, but she was just being a little racist wanker. All is well, and the government is taking care of things.
This is by far my favorite kind of AI slop at the moment. The fake newscaster slop. It just, I don't know. I guess because they've got literally millions of hours of news footage to like train these AIs on, right? It really, really looks great. Let's see, what else have we got? Right, so this has been doing the rounds. Why, it's Torch. Hello, sir. How's it going? 007, Sara, good to see you as well, mate. Still no one on Odyssey. I don't know what's happened, bro. Now, this has been doing the rounds. I am sussy about this, right? Crypto in bio allegedly set up like a Solana coin to, raise my... I cannot confirm this, right? But this is the story. It is going around. Cannot confirm accuracy, but this is what is being said. I spoke with the mum of one of the girls, Maya, and got the entire story that the media is covering up and lying about. So first of all, the reporting got the names of the girls mixed up. There were 3 girls who were there who were accosted and attacked by the migrants. Lola is the hero from the video. She's the one with the axe defending her sister from the migrant attackers. Ruby, Lola's older sister, who was attacked and hospitalized. So apparently, there was another girl that you don't see on camera who actually got like punched and kicked in the head. And there are pictures of her wounds. So this doesn't seem very good. Maya, Ruby's best friend, who was with them and went to call the police after Ruby was attacked by the migrants. Here is a summary of what happened from Maya's mother. Yes, so what happened is the girls were out just walking, and the man in the picture made comments to Lola, the younger girl, calling her sexy and other sexual remarks. Then the girls started to tell this man to leave them alone and stop following them and making sexual remarks to them. After that, the man's sister, also in the picture, came around the corner and physically attacked Ruby, the older sister. She grabbed her hair, dragged her to the floor, started to punch her. Then both the man and the woman were kicking her in the head while she was on the floor. At this point, my daughter Maya called the police, so my daughter's account after that, all that is a bit blurry. But that is when Lola had the weapons. She pulled them out to protect Ruby. After that, the man came back at Lola, recording her, making sure she showed the weapons on camera and antagonizing her. Ruby was hospitalized after the attack with a severe concussion, a tennis ball-sized lump to the back of her head, as well as lots of bruises. So this is alleged what has happened. Obviously, the government are not keen to spread this around. Remember, Scotland is still very much influenced by people like Hamza Yusuf, who of course does not like the whites, right? So this is from Tommy Robinson. Take of that what you will. This is allegedly the people in question. I don't know whether this is the same guy. He looks a little bit different. These are allegedly the girls' injuries after the beating. Doesn't look too good, bros. Doesn't look too good. The memes just write themselves, basically, right? Now, there is, of course, a police statement going around. Chief Superintendent Nicola Russell, who is responsible for Police Scotland's Tayside Division, issued a statement on Wednesday. She said, "We are aware of misinformation being shared on social media in relation to an incident where a Bulgarian couple were approached by youths in St Anne's Lane, Dundee, on Saturday the 23rd. A 12-year-old girl has been charged with being in possession of offensive weapons. She will be referred to the relevant authorities and our inquiries are ongoing. We would like to thank the local community for their help with our investigation and would urge the public not to share misinformation about this incident or speculate on the circumstances." Now, if you have been a bit of a UK watcher, you will be familiar with this line, which is basically whatever they say whenever a migrant does something terrible and the police do not want to inflame tensions in the interests of community cohesion. They never say this if it's like a white person who did anything wrong, obviously, right? So that is sussy in of itself. It looks like Hamza Useless has had a hand in this article from the Courier, which is a local paper. I tried to get to it, but it's paywalled and they've got Cloudflare blocked. So I can't get to the original article, for shame. But fortunately, someone screenshot it on Twitter. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, has been accused of spreading misinformation over an alleged knife incident in Dundee. Oh no, not the misinformation. The government's the only one that's allowed to spread misinformation. A 14-year-old girl was charged on Saturday after allegedly being caught with what police described as a bladed weapon in Lochee. Since then, several posts have been shared on social media claiming the girl and her friends had earlier been followed, recorded, and chatted up by two people. A number of posts make reference to the supposed ethnicity of the two people accused for targeting the girls. Of course, this is England. We don't, ethnicity doesn't matter unless you're white, right? And then it really matters, right? Or unless you're trying to get more money, and then of course it matters. But if look, you know the thing. But Police Scotland has confirmed to the Courier that its investigation to the incident on St Anne's Lane has concluded. It is understood that despite reviewing CCTV and making other inquiries, officers have found nothing to support the allegations made against the two individuals highlighted in the posts. That doesn't necessarily mean it didn't happen. It just means they couldn't find it on CCTV. Very concerning. On Tuesday, ex-owner Mr. Musk, who has a following of nearly 225 million on the platform, reposted one of the allegations about the girl being recorded by a migrant. He's a fucking migrant, right? They're like, oh, no, he's from Bulgaria. He's settled here legally. Also, what, Bulgarians are fucking, like, English now. Fine. Fine, like, they're just fine, right? Have you met the English, oh my God, the bush pygmies, the ones that make all the clicks of their, right? Just as English as the rest of us, mate. The post also repeated sections of the Courier's coverage of the incident. A report which made no mention of race or immigration status. Yeah, well, of course the Courier, of course this paper is going to make mention of it. It's clearly shit-lit because they've got quotes from fucking Hamza Useless, right? Meanwhile, right-wing activist Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Lactley Yenon Rubenstein, also posted about it to his 14 million followers, or 1.4 million. The 42-year-old repeated the allegation that the youngsters were being filmed by a migrant and said it was very concerning. Of course, we know that there's nothing concerning about a Bulgarian man recording a bunch of, vulnerable teenagers, right? Like, it's perfect. It's perfectly normal, right? If you were Bulgarian, you would understand, right? It's dangerous and divisive. Dangerous and divisive. Nadia El Nakla, councillor for Dundee's West End and wife of ex-First Minister Hamza Yusuf, told us this is deeply concerning for many reasons. I see. Would those many reasons have anything to do with the fact that everyone's getting pissed off with the migrants? This is very, very concerning. Everyone has the right to feel safe in our streets, unless you're white, right? And then, then it's not quite so much a right as, a suggestion, right? Carrying a knife is a crime. Carrying a knife is a crime, and we must uphold a policy of zero tolerance towards knife crime. Unlike rape, where we have a sort of policy of sort of tolerance, right? Just saying, right? Mrs. L. Knuckler, the equality spokesman for the Dundee Scottish National Party group. Jesus fuck, dude. So she's a councillor for Dundee, and she's the equalities spokesperson. Oh, I'm sure she is very impartial and can absolutely be trusted, right? It's one thing you know about fucking diversity commissars. They are just, famously impartial. It is also clear that elements of the far right are attempting to hijack this incident to spread a racist anti-immigration agenda. Say the line. They're spreading division and hate. Say the line. Ooh, division and hate. This is both dangerous and divisive, and threatens the cohesion of our communities. Here in Dundee, we will not allow this to take root. The facts of the incident have been provided by our police service, which I'm sure is famously impartial, right? These should be trusted, not the disinformation being pushed by those who wish to vilify asylum seekers and immigrants. Jewish Defence League co-founder Mr. Robinson last year stoked far-right race riots in England from a luxury hotel in Cyprus. And then there's the thing from Stand Up to Racism. So it's true, bros, right? Look, if both the wife of Hamza Useless and Stand Up to Racism have come out and said it's true, you can take that to the bank, man, right? Famously impartial, both of those people. Frankly, I don't think we need to look into it anymore, really. But I will look into it more. This, of course, is the infamous video. So according to the earlier thing, this happened presumably after the third girl was injured, and this is Lola and her friend being quite freaked out.
You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't dare fucking 12 me! You're fucking batting kids.
Why are you fucking with us?
These are fucking kid bashers!
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get away from us!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's it. That's it. Show the knife.
Don't touch my little sister!
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister! She is fucking 12! Where's her fucking touching me? She is fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate!
Now this makes what she's saying a whole lot of sense. She's talking about her friend who has been beaten at this point. I showed the photos with the injuries, and she had to go to hospital. So basically, these two girls have just witnessed their young friend, I think Lola's sister, get the shit kicked out of her, right? And now these guys are like, fucking jeez.
Yeah, show the knife. Maracha.
Don't touch her, don't to me, don't touch her! You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
So of course, in such a situation, we should automatically believe what it is that the migrants say. Wait, was that a beep from Entropy? It is no, Jess. Yes, is Entropy working? By the way, if someone could tell me. Yes, you can also, by the way, donate money. For much needed therapy beers. To my via Entropy, pinned in the thingy. Please do. Beer is becoming increasingly more expensive, and since it is my primary method of therapy, well, that and going to church, Earth monies.
We need Earth monies to appear as normal Earth pigs. Mini Moose, how much have we earned?
Tuna is worth nothing. Oh, yes, it is. It's worth a lot. You can literally stack tuna. Oh, Rhetorically Defective is in the YouTube chat as well. Good to see you, Artie. How you doing, mate? Right, okay, where was I at? Right, so yes, this is from LBC. This is part of the shitlib industrial complex, as it were. The SLID, The SLID. That's a great term. The shit-lib industrial complex. Same kind of thing. Police urge the public not to share misinformation. Yep. Oh, well, I certainly believe it. Same kind of like thing. Users online have recreated the image of girl using AI to show her as a Braveheart-style figure. Oh, my God. Racism. Don't you know that any figures of Scottish independence and resistance are deeply, deeply racist to the new people of Scotland, right? That doesn't say anything new. Now, this is another weird aspect to this story. This is from People. I don't. Does anyone still read People anymore? I've got no idea how this wound up in People. But allegedly, the two sisters went missing in 1st of August, right? So about three and a half weeks ago, they were missing for at least 3 days, right? Police search for missing teen sisters who vanished after a visit to a shopping mall 3 days ago. Ruby Moir and her younger sister Lola Moir, 12, were last seen at the Wellgate Shopping Centre in Dundee, Scotland on Wednesday, July 29th. The siblings, who are known to regularly visit the mall, have not been seen since 5 p.m. local time on the day that they went missing. Police are growing increasingly concerned. Where the fuck were they? Right? Is this an indication of something much, much darker, right? Had something really bad happened to these girls, right? Mate, fuck. Given what's going on in the UK at the moment, increasingly likely, unfortunately. Here you can see, I think that's Lola. Police Scotland are appealing for information. Now, the interesting thing is that they're wearing like mostly the same clothes. Lola was wearing a blue Nike t-shirt and light blue jeans with tears on the knee. So she's wearing the same pair of pants. It's very, very clearly them, right? So no one knows, a lot of people are saying, they're just white trash, right? Like, they probably were just like harassing the migrants for money. This makes me think there's something deeper and more seedy going on here, mate. But we don't know. But don't worry, bros. Fortunately, the migrant involved, he did nothing wrong, bros, right? He came to the UK legally from Bulgaria. He did nothing wrong, bros, right? Police urge the public not to share misinformation. Now, the thing is, right? So everyone's like, oh, he's an illegal migrant. Nobody said necessarily he was illegal, just that he's a migrant. But it has now emerged that Fatos Ali Dumama came to Britain legally from Bulgaria, and he and his wife have an 8-month-old baby. Oh, well, then that's fine. Then, the digital creator, 21, he fucking posts, he's a fucking TikTok gangster, right? Confirmed he is not an asylum seeker and did nothing wrong. Well, he confirmed that he did nothing wrong, bros. There you go, right? Migrant says he did nothing wrong. Where's the other bit? I think there's a bit in this. Something about his council flat. Everyone's like, how the fuck does he have a council flat? He's only been here like a couple of years because he's got a baby. Let's see. So this is the very, very fine, upstanding citizen who didn't do nothing, bros, right? He's a digital creator, and this is the kind of like stuff that he creates. Yeah, definitely the kind of person you'd want hanging around your teenage daughters. Absolutely. Right, looks like a good, wholesome, church-going dude.
Be ready. Shorty your buddy, don't need honey. Come to daddy. Shorty your buddy, don't need honey. come to daddy. Capo, Sosa, Tony, Bosa, família, Zinjir, balcone, Kosovo, Greci, Italy, Albania, Mafia. Are we ready? Shorty up, buddy, Dorni.
I think I caught the last words in that song being Albania Mafia. Yeah, I wonder what that means, bros. Yeah, I wonder. Obviously, being as stupid white as I am, I couldn't possibly hazard a guess. However, he does seem like he's making a good living for himself. I do hear that TikTok pays really well, bros. Nigga, please. Look at this fucking bullshit, right? Unless he just got all that money from the government, right? I suppose it's a possibility. He's got a nice AK tattooed on his neck. Oh, he looks like a lovely chap. All right, there he is there. You know, Don Corleone, Bulgarian mafia. Seems like a lovely chap. Seems like a lovely chap. Anyway, on to our second story, which leads on from the first. So as you may be aware, if you've been watching, the courts delivered a blow to the Labour government's asylum plans by stating that the Bell migrant hotel in Epping had to close because they didn't seek planning permission, which says a lot about the UK, quite frankly. You can rape and abuse the locals as much as you want, but don't you dare do anything without planning permission. Fucking ridiculous, right? So the government announced that they were going to fire back. They would not take their asylum program being in any way, interrupted. They got a timetable, don't you know? 2030 is coming up, right? And the first court session was today, in which Yvette Cooper apparently argued that the rights of asylum seekers are more in the public interest than the rights of the Epping community. Well, of course they are. Right, right? Like it's the European Convention on Human Rights, right? What about the human rights of the people in Epping? No, you don't understand, right? You're not fleeing like a war zone yet, and people will be like, well, what if England turns into a war zone? They'll be like, oh, it's still not the same. You're not brown, right? Home Office lawyers have argued that the rights of asylum seekers are more important than those of Epping Council, as the Court of Appeal considers the Bell Hotel injunction. The Home Office and Somani hotels, of the Berkshire Somanis, a noble English family that goes back centuries, obviously, which owns the hotel in Epping, are seeking to challenge a High Court ruling that will stop 138 asylum seekers from being housed there beyond September 12th. In a ruling last week, interim injunction, Epping represents the public interest that subsists in planning control in its local area, Home Office lawyers said in documents to the Court of Appeal. However, the Home Secretary is taken for those purposes as representing the public interest of the entirety of the United Kingdom and discharging obligations conferred on her alone by Parliament. Oh, that's amazing. So the United Kingdom is simultaneously a thing that works for the public interest of everybody in the country, and yet also simultaneously the obligation of a small governing elite. Funny how that works. Literally never heard of that turning out that way in literally every other goddamn fucking totalitarian country. It's fine, bro. It's fine. Epping's interest in enforcement and planning control is important and in the public interest. However, our interests are more public interested. You know what I'm saying? However, the Home Secretary's statutory duty is a manifestation of the United Kingdom's obligation under Article 3 of the European Convention on Human Rights, which establishes non-derogable fundamental human rights. So you can go and get fucked, right? Because it doesn't matter. We've signed this treaty. It has empowered the shit-lib elite. And you will bow before the Human Rights Treaty. Oh. In written submissions on the hearing on Thursday, Edward Brown, KC, for the department, said that ending the use of hotels to accommodate asylum seekers requires a structured response. How long will that take? Oh, till about 2029. Just at a guess, right? Like, you know, just pull that out of the, you know, till the next election. It's funny how that works. Funny how that works. Will you stop bringing in migrants during that time? Of course not. We can't do that. What about our obligations under the European Convention on Human Rights? Human rights for refugees. Now, at the same time that this is going on, there is a new political party chaired by Ben Habib. Now, normally you would be like, Habib doesn't sound very English, you know, but Habib does seem to be all right, actually. He was another member of Reform that got yeeted by Farage for being a bit too actually wanting to do stuff. Around the same time that Rupert Lowe got yeeted for very much wanting to do stuff. Of course, Reform is not about doing stuff. Reform is about saying they will do stuff, getting into power, and then not doing anything. Okay, right? Okay. So this is from Ben Habib. Successive governments have for decades practiced a policy of mass legal and illegal migration with all its attendant damage. It should be self-evident that this damage can only be reversed by a reversal of that policy. In other words, the solution lies in mass repatriations and the deportation of illegal migrants. And some legal migrants. Especially those who can't fucking speak English. This would not be an extreme policy. It would be nothing more than to reverse what has already been taking place. It can be done peacefully and legally. No, it can't. It absolutely can't. There is no fucking way these people are going to like go peacefully, right? If you think that is on the cards, you have not been fucking paying attention, mate. They are going to like kick the fuck off. But it must be done if we wish to reverse the damage to the country. Politicians seeking to appear moderate and shying away from the challenge are embedding the damage. The truly moderate approach is to adopt policies which reverse the damage done by 30 years of open borders. And of course, once again, enforcing our borders. Very nice, Mr. Habib. Musk, after meeting Farage, was apparently struck by the fact that Farage is a chancer, and Musk was like, nah, Farage is not the guy, right? So he is now talking with Habib, and apparently collaborating with him and funding Advance UK. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Of course, Advance just might wind up splitting the vote, and then Labour gets back in power again, right? You know, presumably the IMF will have to start its own political party by this point, or maybe BlackRock can have their own political party since they're going to own the entire fucking country by this point, right? Now, as I was saying, the shitlib industrial complex have been losing their rags over this, and I just thought I'd play you a sample, an amuse-bouche of the unamused douche, right? The liberals just say, hey, you can't talk about deportations. Oh my God, don't you realize this is a civilized country? What about our containment? What about our beautiful containment operation? What about my BlackRock shares? Yeah, fuck your BlackRock shares, you fucking assholes.
Well, I think it is extraordinarily raw and frightening for a country that has championed respect for human rights, particularly the most vulnerable, to be even contemplating this. I mean, how on earth to be getting in this position whereby a populist party that is riding very high in the polls and is making the weather, brilliantly led by the populist Nigel Farage, is pushing back on the Conservative Party, which itself has been quite prominent in this area, and a Labour Party, which, as even David Plunkett has said, former Home Secretary, has no clear story and no clear answer on this. And it is a failure of government and a failure of the Prime Minister not to get ahead, not to anticipate. None of it couldn't have been foreseen.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, my God. You just see these. There's an increasing phenomenon. You're seeing it like all over the West, right? Where the people in the cities, right, who actually have to deal with all of the diversity and shit are becoming increasingly radicalized, right? And all the people living out in the sort of like rural parts that have yet to be, you know, blessed with the multitude blessings of diversity are looking around and being like, anyways, hey, why is everybody so angry? You know, it was like, dude, we've been talking about this literally for like decades. Oh yes, but it didn't affect me. So, yeah, fucking, it's very much a class thing, right? Like, you know, you can't talk about class. I have been reliably informed that saying that class is a thing means that you're a Marxist, and Marxism is woke, so you can't talk about class anymore. So I guess you'll just have to not talk about UK society at all, despite the fact that class has been a thing in British society even before Marx. Yes, there was such a thing as BM before Marx. I know, amazing. Fucking, I mean, you can tell I've been reading too much fucking James Lindsay recently, can't you? Fucking just this guy's like, I was here. Are you ready for the coercion that might be involved? Yes, we are.
These are human beings. We may consider that their presence here is irregular and illegal and think they shouldn't have come here, but they are flesh and blood at the end of the day. And this is going to require quite a lot of coercion. Arresting people, putting them in camps, detaining them, detaining children, detaining women, sending people back to countries where in some cases they may be at very real risk. I accept that there are many people who are claiming asylum who are not at risk if they're returned to their own countries, but there will be some who are, and he's going to have to deal with all that as well.
What do you mean?
And with what the public reaction is to what he's doing. Now, maybe the public are just so angry and so irritated, and I accept this is a massive national crisis, that they'll just say, oh, too bad, we'll just let this happen. But I do just wonder if that's the case. These are human beings. We may consider...
Oh, yeah, no, oh, yeah, like, oh, gee, wow, oh, yeah, like, fuck off against the fucking wall. Who's this fucking, this is another insufferable shit lib. Don't worry, the cringe section of tonight's show is very, very small to make up for the insane amounts of shit libbery I'm forcing on you. Enjoy.
People talk about asylum seekers being a threat to our way of life, coming here, undermining our system and undermining our democracy. Seems to me we're now at risk of the way we are responding to those people, doing all of that and more. That is the threat to our democracy. People saying they're going to tear up our human rights laws that we all rely on to protect us, just so they can kick more migrants out the country. That's the threat to our democracy. If it's a choice between living in a country where tens of thousands of people continue to come here on small boats, or a country that has no proper human rights in existence in its laws, then frankly, I know which country I'd rather live in. We are bordering on collective hysteria now in the way that we are talking about this. Do we need to stop the boats? Of course we do. Is tearing up and shredding human rights laws worthwhile in order to do that? Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. And a generation that fought so hard for those rights would surely be appalled that that is now what we are on the cusp of doing.
Fuck off. These people think that like before World War II, right, there was no such thing as human rights in the UK, right? For a start, everybody was armed, weren't they? Right? The most important right, the right to fucking defend yourself, right? The right that basically enables all other rights that are not given by the fucking state. Oh, these fucking state. If the state didn't have it in a law, I would have no human rights. That's because you're not armed, right? If you are armed, you would have a shitload of human rights, okay? Because that is how it fucking works, right? This is why I like the Ameribros, right? Say what you want, okay? I like the fact that the Ameribros are armed, right? And I just think there's a whole lot of shit you could just never get away with in America because everyone's fucking armed to the teeth, right? However, all of this shit libbery is for naught. And you know why? I am afraid that British Jewry has come down on the side of deportations, right? And look, you can resist all of you want, but generally speaking, what the lobby wants, the lobby gets. Starmer faces growing Labour backlash over the ECHR. Senior party figures call for reform of the convention, which is being misused to prevent the deportation of illegal migrants. They just realized this now. Can you believe it? They just now realized. 27th of August, 2025, right? That the ECHR is being misused. Wow. That's amazing. They're so perspicacious, bros, right? They're looking at the fucking poll numbers, number one, right? And they're about to invade Iran. So, you know, and probably depopulate Gaza as well, right? And so, it's going to be a bit, bit sussy, bit bad on the optics, right? Joe White, the leader, Joe Vice, probably. I didn't do an early live check on her. Leader of the Red Wall Caucus of more than 40 Labour MPs called for a review after Jack Straw, oy vey, called for Sir Keir to decouple Britain from the ECHR, and Lord Blunkett called for its suspension. The treaty has been exploited by thousands of illegal migrants to avoid deportation and stay in the UK, something they only literally just realised like yesterday, bros, right? The intervention came after Farage said that he would tear up the treaty in order to deport 600,000 illegal migrants, which is just, it's a good start. But it's supposed to be 600,000 over the entire length of the parliament, which would be over 5 years, right? So it's not, and there's nothing about, tests for like illegal migrants. There's nothing about reversing the Boris wave. None of that shit, right? And also, a quite underappreciated problem is that the ECHR is bound up with the Good Friday Agreement and therefore bound up with the status of Northern Ireland. It's incredibly complex. It's basically like fucking, Windows 7, right? You just, you change one bit and the whole thing comes down. Mrs. White backed the government in targeting Article 8, the rights to family life, widely used in the record number of appeals by rejected asylum seekers against removals, which she said need to be looked at and challenged. They only just realised this now, bros, right? Some of the things that have been brought under Article 8, by the way, was the case of, I believe, a Jamaican man who argued against deportation because his son said that he only liked British chicken nuggets. I'm not fucking kidding. And a man convicted of child rape who argued under Section 8 that it would unjustly affect his relationship with his children if he were deported. So, that's the kind of thing. If migration fucks up your family and your community, you can't appeal under Section 8 though, right? That's not how that shit works. Now, in an amazing twist, they just thought this up, bros, right? It's amazing, right? It took them so long. They're just like, oh yeah, we could just amend the Human Rights Act, right? So that we don't have to take account of the judgments of the ECHR. They just figured this out, bros. Fucking hell. Right, this is Jack Straw, who was, who the fuck was Jack Straw? Livia, you'd know this. A former Labour Home Secretary under, I believe it was under Tony Blair. Quite a notorious person. Straw told the Financial Times that the migration crisis faced by Starmer was worse than the one New Labour experienced. Oh yeah, you're kidding. Really? They only just figured this out. Here's Jack Straw again. So there's 2 articles in the Telegraph about this, right? The former Home Secretary has questioned the utility of Britain being bound by the treaty in Strasbourg. Just figure this out, bros. Just figure this out. Straw has questioned the utility of Britain being bound by the court's rulings and said that human rights are safe enough under existing UK law. Imagine my fucking shock. This is Sir Michael Ellis. I was Attorney General. I say it's time to leave the ECHR. We must adopt a realistic view of so-called international law. So-called international law? Goodness me. I thought international law was paramount. I thought treaties were like, I thought the ICC and the ICJ were like absolutely like the pillars of our democracy, bros. Let's see, what else has Sir Michael Ellis written about? Let's have a look. Save our peers. What's wrong with the hereditary principle? Human rights lawyers must be the servants of the people. The king's visits to Auschwitz gives us hope in dark times. Irish politicians are positioning themselves as the enemies of the West because Israel had to remove their embassy. I'm starting to see a theme here. The International Criminal Court has zero credibility left. It cannot survive because it broke its own rules when it issued an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. I am starting to detect a theme here. The war against Israel in the courts is a danger to Britain's armed forces too. Oh, really? Fascinating. South Africa's desperate spiral has made it unsafe for tourists because of their stance on the Gaza conflict. Interesting. Well, that's, I see absolutely no pattern at all in that. I'm sure he's a completely neutral party in this, and his sudden objection to international law has nothing to do with anything else. So yes, basically he's saying here the ECHR is not sacrosanct. It's not the high priest of jurisprudence whose words will be imparted through the eons like the wisdom of Solomon. Okay? I mean, or maybe like the words of Jesus, right? I'm just saying, right? It's a body that has badly lost its way, right? God, I'm just very, very suspicious of this. The Swiss, for example, had quite until recently been planning a conference in Geneva of something called the High Contracting Parties to the Fourth Geneva Convention, which has only been convened 3 times in the past 26 years, all of them, of course, in relation to Israel, who, of course, have never done anything wrong, right? Terrible. The plan was to alter the Geneva Conventions to make things harder for Israel, making this a rather blatant politicization of the conventions. Fortunately, the project failed, leaving them, presumably, to go on to spread flowers in Gaza, right? Not that Hamas are, any angels themselves, but, the Geneva Conventions were not designed with the idea that certain countries get a pass. I mean, just saying, right? Here we go. Yeah. What else have we got? This is former Justice Secretary Robert Buckland saying that Farage's mass deportation plan just doesn't add up.
There's a big difference between performative politics and reality. I mean, what Nigel has done today is give a little bit of catnip to people who quite understandably and rightly are concerned about the rise in illegal migration and the problem that we have, not just here in the UK, but across Western Europe, of people coming to our shores, not for political reasons very often, but for economic ones. Now, that is a real issue. I hear it every day, talking to friends and family and people I interact with. He's not wrong to talk about it, but looking at the detail, that's where things start to unravel. And I'm afraid what he said today just doesn't add up. What, doing a deal with the Taliban to send people back to Afghanistan, doing a deal with Iran? Come on, get real. Where reality meets.
Why can't you do a deal with Afghanistan? Why can't you do a deal with Iran, right? I mean, they are from those countries. I mean, they want to be in a Muslim country. Why not send them to a fucking Muslim country?
It's the rhetoric. I'm afraid there is a real problem in the detail of what he has said.
So we can't do anything. Obviously, this is a huge problem, but it's just too hard. We can't do anything about it. Anyone suggesting that you can do anything about it, not allowed. Now, Reform does have some relatively based people. This is Gawain Towler. I've been seeing him over the TV. He does seem to be quite based. Enjoy.
But there's one use of language that I heard Zia Youssef use today. I think Nigel
Farage used it as well during the speech. Yeah. This idea of talking about fighting age men coming over here, you know how loaded that is. You know what that suggests.
Do you know the countries they're coming from?
Let me finish the point before you answer. Yeah. It's indicative of this idea of invasion. I mean, and Ellie Chowns, actually, not to quote her all the time, but she talked about, when we talk about working age men, which actually you used earlier, you said that people coming here who want to work, that is something different. So why use this fighting age over working age?
I tell you why. Because the places that most of these people are coming from, if you look at the countries from which they're arriving, these are countries where there is a state of war. It is not their women. I was brought up to believe that if there is danger, you make sure the women and children are in safety first. In this instance, it's the young men who want to get to safety first. And frankly, they have grown up in an era of warfare with a different culture, with a different attitude towards women. And yes, they are of fighting age, because you can't tell me.
So you don't seem to want to step away from that, do you? No. Even though you know what it's suggesting.
I know exactly what it means, and but we feel there have been cases of people who've come on those boats who have been arrested, alleged right now, because they've not been convicted, of terrorist offences. So yeah, fighting age.
Mate, look at those ears. They're glorious. Like the wing mirrors on a fucking Rolls Royce. Now that is, someone was saying he's Welsh. Oh, he's definitely indigenous to the English Isles. Let's put it. You don't get ears like that in any other phenotype. Yes, and also, of course, here he is talking to Cathy Newman. You may remember Cathy Newman from that hilarious interview with Jordan Peterson back before he went insane. Enjoy.
Because how do you think this sounds to a member of the Windrush generation, or someone from Afghanistan or Eritrea who's facing torture or even death?
We are not responsible for the whole world's problems. We're responsible for the people of this country. How does somebody who served our country and is living on the streets feel about the hostels and the hotels being provided for people who arrived here on the boat? We don't know who they are undocumented. In some cases, they've been arrested for alleged terrorist activities, and yet our own servicemen ex-servicemen still sleep on the street. How do they feel? Those are the people I care about. I'm sorry, I don't care about the whole world.
Because how do you think this sounds to a member of...
How do you think this sounds to a member of the Windrush generation? Don't care. Like, oh God, fuck, jeez. Yeah. Good for sticking up for yourself, mate. I like the cut of his jib. Right, final story. Oh, I'm running late, of course. Final story. So there have been rumblings in Ukraine. I think I covered on the last show how basically the negotiations have gone nowhere because Zelensky won't negotiate. And of course the Russians know that he won't negotiate. And I am starting to believe that the reason why the Russians don't try and take him out is, maybe they figure that anyone else who gets in might want to negotiate. And from the Russians' point of view, they're absolutely just fine with him not negotiating, because then the Russians can say, oh, well, we tried to negotiate, but Zelensky, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, right? EU and UK diplomatic missions were hit in Russia's second largest assault on Kiev of the war. This is a significant escalation. As far as I am aware, it was not the UK embassy itself that was hit, but a number of sort of adjacent GLOW organizations, cultural organizations, right? Basically like USAID, but for Britain and the EU, right? Apparently like 19 people killed. That fucking sucks. In apparent retaliation for Ukraine's increasingly brazen cross-border drone attacks on Russian energy sites and factories, one of which was the only pipeline supplying oil to Hungary and Slovakia. Which is also kind of stupid because Hungary supplies like 40% of Ukraine's electricity, which they need natural gas to make. But I mean, right? Like, fucking whatever. The EU's diplomatic mission in the capital was also damaged. Okay, so, I mean, the EU doesn't technically have an embassy. I don't think I don't know, right? You know, the EU is not technically a state. It's like a super state, but it needs a diplomatic mission. But I'm not sure whether, you know, say someone who was, you know, a citizen of any EU country could just like rock up to their diplomatic mission. I don't know how that works. During the night strike, Russia also targeted diplomats in direct breach of the Vienna Convention. The EU mission to Ukraine was damaged. This requires not only the EU's but worldwide condemnation. We express solidarity with our EU colleagues and are ready to provide assistance. I think this is the Ukrainian foreign minister, who has been very, very spicy on Twitter. So it doesn't look, though, like any diplomats were actually hit. So this might have taken place at night. I presume if any diplomats were indeed killed, it would be in this article, right? We have summoned the Russian ambassador. This is the Guardian as well. Here's the British Council building. It's all messed up. What is the British Council? Well, British Council is basically like USAID, but it's very, very old. In fact, it goes back like 143 years or something like that. In 1934, the British Foreign Office created the British Committee for Relations with Other Countries. 1934. Okay, it's not that old. To support English education abroad, promote British culture, and fight the rise of the extreme ideologies of communism and fascism. Don't know why the fuck they're in Ukraine then, given how like fash the Ukrainians are, but you know, never mind. The name quickly became the British Council for Relations with Other Countries. In 1936, the organisation's name was officially shortened to the British Council. Opened in Bucharest, Cairo, Lisbon, and Warsaw in 1938. This is clearly a soft power organisation. In fact, I think it literally says it's a soft power organisation. Julian Huxley, T.S. Eliot. Do exhibitions, all this kind of like other stuff. The Russian Foreign Ministry ordered the British Council to close its offices outside of Moscow in 2007. The ministry alleged that it had violated Russian tax regulations, a move that British officials claim was in retaliation for the British expulsion of Russian diplomats allegedly involved with the poisoning of Alexander Litvinenko. So here we go. In June 2025, Russia designated the British Council as an undesirable organisation, resulting in the suspension of its remaining activities in the country and limiting access for Russian students and educators to English language examinations, academic resources, and cultural exchange programs. Probably also where they're recruiting spies, right? I mean, let's be honest here, right? They were also supporting the LGBT movement. Well, of course they were. So, you know, fucking soft power. This is the Russian ambassador in the UK arriving at the Foreign Office for a dressing down. I mean, you know, what's he gonna say, right? Like, well, it was accident. It didn't mean to accidentally hit your glow organization. What can we do? You know, unfortunately, missile operator drinking a bit too much vodka did not say his prayers. Accidentally hit your glow organization. So very sorry. Now, final little story tidbit. This is Peter Szijjarto. Oh, mate. Hungarian is like, you know, trying to like speak with a mouthful of marbles, right? Peter Szijjarto, right? That's the best I can do, right? Who is the foreign minister of Hungary. Is basically on Twitter being like, look, this is not our war. We are not responsible for it. We did not launch it. We have not been participating in it. Stop provoking us. Stop risking our energy security and stop making efforts to drag us into your war. This is in response to Ukraine drone striking for the third time, I believe, in 2 weeks, the only oil pipeline into Hungary, which of course comes from Russia. The Ukrainian foreign minister, this is the guy, Andriy Sybiha, was like basically fuck you, right? Like, you're buying energy from the Russians, therefore you're funding Putla. You know, Putla kills children, therefore, you know, fuck your country. I don't know exactly where Hungary is supposed to get its oil from. If it doesn't get it from Russia, I presume the Americans would be willing to sell them some at like 4 or 5 times the current price, and completely gut all their industry. You know, maybe they could bring in like 1 million migrants to help, you know, with their economic troubles, right? Like, it's a great model. It's worked really, really well in France and Germany and the UK. And this was provoked when, after the latest strike against the Druzhba oil pipeline, the Hungarian government has decided to ban the commander of the military unit responsible from entering Hungary and the entire Schengen area. So presumably they put like a notice up, and now this guy can't travel anywhere within Europe. The Ukrainians are not happy about this, obviously. Ukraine knows very well that the Druzhba pipeline is vital for Hungary and Slovakia's energy supply, and that such strikes harm us far more than Russia. Anyone who attacks our energy security and sovereignty must expect consequences. What kind of consequences? Well, at the moment, whinging on Twitter seems to be the limit of the consequences. Oh no, they sent a letter to Kaja Kallas, the EU. I'm sure that's gonna like do a lot. Apparently, another big reason is that Hungary has been blocking Ukraine's accession to the EU. Now, countries aren't supposed to be able to join the EU while they're still at war, but, you know, this is Ukraine, so they get a pass on everything, basically, right? And yeah, and Hungary's like, you know, well, why isn't the rest of the EU defending us? Well, everyone knows the answer. The EU is a globalist organization pursuing globalist goals. The latest policy from the West, generally speaking, is of an air shield for Ukraine that would basically be like a no-fly zone. If you're old enough to remember the Iraq War, that's how this whole thing kicked off. They started in what's called a no-fly zone over Iraq, where they basically like shoot down any planes that like wander over the border. Very, very easy way to get a war started, which is clearly the goal. They want a wider theater war that will suck in the Europeans and preferably the Americans, because there's no way that Ukraine can win otherwise, and it has to be the Americans. The Europeans just, quite frankly, don't have enough people or materiel. Russia's not going to go for that, though, so, you know, fake and gay. Right, that's all the news. You know what that means, bros. It is time now for some cringe. Very, very little amount of cringe, as I said, though, because I've already subjected you to so much of the lib shit industrial complex, as it were. Climate hysteria, anyone?
I want to start off by addressing one of the comments that was made by the witnesses around climate hysterics. Hysteria, it refers to something that is wildly emotional. It comes from the Greek word womb, of the womb. It is used in ancient Greek to refer to things associated with women. And I hope you'll forgive me if I get emotional. Climate emergencies are not gender neutral. The degradation of ecosystems disproportionately impacts women and girls. And I am wildly emotional. This is the existential crisis of our time. And to hear that we're asking for high ambition is climate hysteria, that makes me wildly emotional. Absolutely. You know, when I think about my womb, you know, the 2 children that I bore from that womb and what future we are leaving them, I am wildly emotional. And it's not surprising to hear this from someone who has written articles that are pro-life. I think that we need to think about the intersection of gender and the climate crisis. And I hope that the people around this table and the people listening will refrain from using language like climate hysteria. We are facing a climate emergency.
the jokes write themselves. Bros, right? That's it. That's all the cringe. Oh, no, not quite. We have a little bit of stuff from Burning Man. It appears that God has decided to judge Burning Man. They had like a storm go right through there. Apparently, bros, the orgy tent was completely destroyed. Oh, no. Apparently, you know, it was like a, you know, at least a 2-hour wait in line to get into the orgy tent. Very, very popular. I understand. Christ. Oh, dude. Yeah, check it out.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
It's a Jet2 holiday. Right. Oh, Arden, good to see you in the chat. You should appreciate this, mate.
Olivia Gondak, it says that I wanted to eat her pussy. Olivia Gondak, I've never said that in my life to her. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home.
What about... Do you have the fortitude or the gonads to stand up and come across here and say that to me, you son of a bitch? Come on.
Daryl. Enough with the woke shit. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I take that back. I apologize for my...
That's going to change the future of mankind. So we'd like you to...
we like to say people kind, not necessarily mankind.
P. A couple questions, and what were those questions?
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly. Yes, I have smoked crack cocaine.
But I heard her say a word that I know is distinctly unparliamentary, and I think she may want to withdraw it. The word was F-A-R-T.
Arden, what's going on in Canada, bro? Oh, goodness me. Right, this is... Right, a couple of like based ones now. This is Trump warning the UK. I would listen to him, bros.
I hate to mention countries, but you look at the UK, what's happened at UK, they have energy costs have gone through the roof because of wind. They want to do everything, close up the northern parts of the country. They have oil that's tremendous. And they closed it up and they've been building windmills all over the place. And I tell them, you're my friends, but man, you're going to have a bad awakening very soon. It's going to be very bad. I hate to mention countries, but
yeah, it is. It's going to be fucking biblical, honestly. This is pretty good. I don't know who this comedian is, but this is like awesome.
A document that every American ought to see. This here is a list of 146 outstanding communists in the State Department. Each and every one of these 123 names has been thoroughly investigated by the FBI. We're going to take these 94 guys and throw them in jail where they belong. The whole 62 of them, believe me. You get a list with 38 names on it like that, and you know how to work with it. We know how to handle these 17 commies. Not one of the 5 of them will get away. And when that guy shows up, he's in trouble, pal, I'll tell you
that. It do really be like that. Prices of cigarettes are insane.
And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul.
Abdul, don't do it. Just random stuff.
Close your legs. I can see your balls.
I was trying to take a video of the sunset.
All I see is nuts.
How romantic. What else do we got? Yeah, this is stupid.
Ready to receive our underage customers. And within minutes, they began to arrive.
The sign outside, that's real?
Yeah. You can go grab some.
Alcohol or something?
I mean, I guess so. Look what you got.
Look at that.
40 ounce.
Oh, that's huge, buddy.
Highlight.
You're gonna start heavy, don't you?
Yeah. So you own this now.
Yeah,
it's pretty sweet. So close. You get a claim check, so you're allowed to come back and claim it when you're 21.
Yeah, but I want it Friday now. I want it 10 years later.
With no refunds allowed, the miners had no other option but to fill out the claim check, allowing them to own alcohol without the consequences of consuming it. What you're doing, the plan was working, and Nabil was now able to sell to a whole new type of customer. Some teens wouldn't be satisfied leaving empty-handed. I had a corner of Nabil's store converted to look like a cool basement, so miners could take photos with their alcohol before it goes.
Oh, dude. Oh my god. Oh, dude. Oh, what else have we got?
Hey kids, Daddy's home. Who wants to help me change the batteries on the smoke detector?
Right. Cute animal videos now. Does anyone know what kind of animal this is? This is a very, very strange looking animal.
Now do you believe me when I said I was going to take you to the desert? Are you going to take me more serious now, you discount guinea pig? And are you going to stop screaming at me all the damn time? It's so funny how your tone has changed. Lastly, will you show me some appreciation for what I do for you? Don't look away from me.
No, I think it is a quokka, actually. Nice one. Total blackout painting. Oh, good to see you, TBP. How you doing, mate? What else we got?
It's the final brain cell. Be-ni-ni-noo. Midna.
What else we got? Random Labradors.
Buster, I'm really gonna... Buster! Come here. Come here. Come here, you little shit. Be a good boy for once in your life. Are you done? Come here. Come here. Buster. Buster Henry. Buster. Come here. Come here. Hey, hey, that's what's my towel. Don't you dare. Buster. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey, 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 leave that vacuum cleaner alone. Hey, are you ready to come in?
Come on. Let's go, come on. Down the pool. Let's go, come on. Come on. Come on. Go over here, let mommy dry you. Go dry him. Come over here. No, sir. Buster, get over here now.
Aww. What else do we got? Oh, yeah, this is cute. Catapult kitten. Oh, this is really cute.
Excuse me, sir. Can I help you? What would you like today? A treat? Here you go. All right, have a nice day. Bye-bye. Excuse me, sir. Can I help you?
Husky German Shepherd mix. Aw. What else we got? More German Shepherds.
Ava, you hate getting your paws wet, honey. Ava, it's wet down there too. Okay, yep, try the other paw. Ava, it's all water. There's nowhere for you to stand where there's not water, honey. I'm sorry. Ava, you can't lay in here with me, my love. It's all water and you hate getting wet like that. Ava, don't you pop my paw with your nails, girl. Ava, there's water everywhere. Ava, I'm sorry, babe. Ava.
Oh, look at this. Look at the size of this cat.
Dame un grr.
Un qué?
Un grr.
Un qué? Un qué?
Un grr.
Un qué?
Un grr.
Un qué?
Un grr. Dame un grr.
Un qué?
Man, that is one huge fleefy cat. And our final cute animal video of the night. Cat with flowers. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. Empire of Lies on in about an hour and a half. James Lindsay on why the Israelis deserve an ethnically homogenous society, but the English do not. Come along if you would like some shit posting about that. And tomorrow on Artie and Fist, also we're gonna have a big Lindsay deep dive. We've got dirt, we've got timelines, we've got a complete subversive history of the Lindsay himself, the lolcow, to end all lolcows. That's at 11 p.m. London time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Come along, it should be fun. Quick goodbye to everybody in the chat on Rumble. Total Blackout Painting, Teabagging Therapist, Sede Sapiente, Livia Drusilla, great to see you, Livia. Ardent Party, Flying Axe Blade, Captain Crisps, anybody else? Full Short, good to see you, mate. I think that's everybody. Wait, didn't we have like some like random really like racist dude like drop in? Well, I can't see. Harry Hurst is there as well. Good to see Harry. And random very very racist dude who like popped in as well. Good to see you, mate. On YouTube, Emmanuel Goldstein. Oh, nice name. Cyberchat Internal Affairs, Linda Hunter, Otto Stormhart, Robert Verlinden, Victorian Time Traveler, Linda Hunter. Who else we got? James Cole, Ashley Styles, Sunny Jim. I think that's everybody. Oh, and Rhetorically Defective, of course, and 007 as well. Great to see you all, guys. And on Odyssey, Highland Fool, En Passant, and that's basically it. Right, see you all for Goulet Cafe later tonight. Otherwise, have an excellent weekend, bros. Good night.